Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce to you our presenters for this evening. The first presenter this evening is Ms. Geeta Krishnan. Geeta is the assistant principal at Swami Vivekananda College in Nadi. And the second presenter we have tonight is Ashvin Dass. Now, if you were with us last week, you would have heard Ashvin speak about Zoom. But if this is your first time, Ashvin is an accounting and economics teacher. He is actually my colleague here in Melbourne, and we both teach at Hume Anglican Grammar. Geeta is also an accounting and economics teacher. So what we're going to do is, before I introduce these two, this is the format of our webinar tonight. In a moment, I'm going to invite Geeta to give us an overview of Fiji's accounting and economics curriculum, but more so, how does she teach commercial studies in Fiji? And then I will invite Ashvin to talk about how he teaches accounting and economics in Melbourne. And then we will get the two presenters to have a bit of a reflection, and then we will open the floor up to you audience to ask any question and any reflection that you could give based on what you hear and what you listen to tonight. So I will stop here now, and I will stop sharing, and I will invite Geeta to come online and share with us your presentation, Geeta. Now I will need to stop share. There you go. Did you want to come online now, Geeta?
Hello, everyone. Good evening to you all. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, we can, Geeta. Thank you.
Okay. So today I'm giving an overview of accounting and economics curriculum in Fiji and the issues we are facing. Our Department of Commerce, or Commercial Studies, at year 9 and 10 level, it's called Commercial Studies. And at year 11, 12, and 13 level, we either teach accounting or economics. So Fiji's Commerce Department curriculum, it's divided into 3 strands under year 9 and 10. And for year 11 and 12 and 13 accounting, it's divided into 6 strands. Those are the topics. And for year 13, there's a bit of a difference compared with year 12. We introduce partnership and company with cash flows in year 13. For economics, we still have those 5 things, which is introduction to economics, microeconomics, macroeconomics, international economics, and development economics, and those are the topics. So today I will be talking about how I teach accounting or economics in Fiji. For example, if I'm looking at a topic like accounting topic, personal taxation. So in year 11 and year 12, there's so many types of taxation. So the first thing I do is, because it's taxation, I bring the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services website. We have in our school intranet facility, so I can show the website in the class. We talk about TIN number and TIN card because that is what is acceptable everywhere in the country. We generally use traditional teaching method, which is writing and discussion of notes, illustration exercises. We give formulas and percentages. We teach those things because taxation requires that. Then we give class exercises, worksheets, and then it is the solutions are displayed on the whiteboard by the students, or we give the time to the teacher to do it at times. We have mixed group settings, gender-wise, ethnicity, academic-wise. The smarter ones generally help the low achievers. We also bring in, apart from the traditional teaching method, 21st century learning. As I said, we have intranet and internet facilities in the classroom. So we have videos and PowerPoint presentations, etc. That was pre-COVID. The challenges I face in accounting generally is use of calculator. Students sometimes have to be taught how to use the calculator, or sometimes they don't have the calculator, or they have lack of interest in calculation. A BEDMAS rule is another thing that we face because we use brackets, etc. in taxation, so the students have that problem. We have absenteeism, late arrival issues. We have mixed students. We have low achievers and slow learners. That's a challenge. Our class sizes are pretty big. It goes up till 15 year 9 to 10 level. We have incomplete work. Sometimes, students will be given questions, but they rely on the teacher's answers. Then we move on to economics. For example, if I'm teaching law of diminishing returns, all those concepts will be told to the students before. And then again, we give notes. Traditional teaching is there. Because we have, again, internet in the classroom, we can show the videos on large scale production. So normally some Amazon factory, etc. we show those things. We give the objectives, notes, illustration exercises, activities, again, display solution. We have mixed group sitting. We don't sit in a normal sitting. We have group sitting in the classroom. And videos are used, we use evaluations, etc. So both traditional and 21st century teaching is done. Again, the problem challenges we face is the calculation. Students dislike calculation, don't have calculators, don't know how to use it. Formulas are there, so it's difficult for them to cram it. So they have to know it. Graphing is another issue in economics where the variables are put in the wrong axis. Graduating the axis can be a problem. Most of the time we have to teach that also. For a summary, I would say, because our school has intranet facility, we had shared folders, so teachers don't have to carry things. But during power failures, the teachers are equipped with both soft and hard copy notes. We have traditional teaching and student-oriented teaching. That means we bring in the students into groups, etc. Videos are used in the classroom. We teach under the tree at times. If the students are bored, they go out. English teachers and computer teachers, most teachers, they go out and sit under the tree and teach because we have the platform there. We have auditorium, they teach there also. From 2020 to 2021, we are teaching using weekly worksheets generally, which is sent via email or picked by the students. And now we have the Moodle platform where the students have access to it. But we still have the problem of data and network at the moment. In the remote areas, there is network issues. After going through so many of these My Teachers Forum, etc., FNU, so now we have introduced online teaching in the school. So it started from last week and it's continuing this week for year 13. And for year 12, we'll begin, year 9 to 12, we'll start online teaching next week. And most of us will be using the Zoom platform or the Google Meet platform that we have used. And I have also found while doing this teaching now, online teaching, that we can record the Zoom video and play it using a Google Meet forum. So you can actually record in advance. Confident teacher, record in advance.
Sorry, Geeta, I think you have been muted.
Okay, now?
Yeah, okay now, yeah.
The My Teachers Fiji forum and the FNU workshops are helping us because online teaching is new to all of us. I think it's going to be a plus point for us even now as we are learning through these presentations. We have learned a lot of styles of presentation. The most useful tool for me at the moment is Google Forms, which has been taught through your My Teachers Forum, because it has let me evaluate the students instantly. And through the spreadsheet, I am able to know all these weaknesses the students have. Actually, this week when I did the Google form, I realized that just caps, small caps or upper caps changes in the answers makes the answers wrong. So we have to give so many answers if there is fillers.
Hmm.
And another feature that I'm using for students now is the poll feature, which is in the Messenger and Viber group. Thank you, that's all. And these are some of the Google forms that I created. I didn't only create it for my school, I'm also part of a club, which is a Strivers Club. And for them, I wanted a reflection from them. So I had devised this form and sent to my club members. I think Anushka would be there today. She's one of the club members, and they filled it and I got a response so quickly. Even with my youth members, I got the response quickly. So I think it's pretty exciting. And when I did the evaluation for year 13s, some of them got all right. So they are, I had given them an incentive of recharge. So which I'll be doing next week. Thank you. Any questions?
We'll just thank you very much, Geeta, for that. We'll just hang on with the questions towards the end,
Okay.
just so that we can get Ashvin present his. But can I just pick up a couple of points there as you're presenting? I was noting a couple of things down. It's really good to know, that you're using group work. As we know from our education 101, group work, students learning in a social context is the best way to be learning. Of course, there are so many learning theories, but group work is actually a very powerful and effective. So that's really good. I picked up there. You use mixed groups, mixed ability groups. You use trees. I'm glad to know that you still have classes under the trees.
Yes,
So
a
that's
lot
really
of them.
a lot of them. That's awesome. That's brilliant. And you tend to use traditional teaching method, mix of traditional teaching methods, as well as use of videos and PowerPoints and a whole heap of mix of teaching strategies. That's really, really good. The other thing I was going to say, some of the concerns that you put on, now, of course, I'm not talking about those internet issues and connection and network. That's something that we really can't do anything much about it. But where the internet and connections are, that's where we would like to help whoever can access and gain benefit out of it. One of the other things that you mentioned, and I was almost thinking, you actually probably are teaching some of my students here in Melbourne. We both share the same concerns in terms of students not completing work. That's not something that's unique to Fiji. That's a concern. I'm sure when Ashvin comes on, he will vouch for that as well. Students not completing work, not doing homework. You mentioned calculations. Students don't really enjoy the mathematical side of things. Now, that's a common concern. In Australia, we rank really low amongst the OECD countries in terms of our numeracy. The point I'm trying to make is what your concerns are very similar to what we have here as well. Anyway, I won't take any much longer. I will now call upon Ashvin. Geeta, would you wanna just unshare your screen? Just stop sharing your screen, I mean.
Okay, what do I do?
If you hover down, there will be the Zoom.
Okay.
There you go. Awesome. Can I now ask Ashvin to come on?
Hello, everyone. Is the sound clear? Is the sound
Mr.
clear?
Das? Yeah, good.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for taking your time and coming here. Hopefully, whatever I share is helpful to you in some way. So I'll start off with the structure of VCE here, and this is universal to all the VCE subjects. We have 4 units. So Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4.
Ashvin, did you, sorry, Ashvin.
Yep.
Did you have a screen to share?
Not at this point.
Okay, no, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll show something later.
Okay, no, that's good.
Yeah. So the VCE structure has 4 units. Unit 1 and 2 we do in year 11, and then Unit 3 and 4 is done in year 12. Now here in Melbourne, in Victoria, Unit 1 and 2 are not compulsory for Unit 3 and 4. So what that means is that you don't have to have done year 11 accounting or economics or business or any of the humanities subjects to have to do that in year 12. So for that particular reason, our year 11 subjects are sort of used again in year 11 in content. So if I'm teaching accounting in year 12, unit 3 will have a lot of year 11 work in it, just so that those who are new to the subject are able to catch up as well. The topics that we are doing, from what Geeta said, there's a lot of things that we don't do that you guys do in year 11 and 12 in Fiji. We don't have a year 13 here, so everyone goes to university to start off from there. In year 11, we do not do ledger posting at all. So Fiji is ahead in that portion. Ledger posting is only done in year 12. We also don't concentrate too much on partnership or companies in the later times. There's no companies, no partnership done at all. We concentrate a lot on the journals in year 11, the 6 journals, and then in year 12, we only do general journals. So we do not, everything goes in the general journal. So there's no specialist journals there. We do budgets, we do cash flows, and because we don't concentrate on partnership or companies, we only concentrate on service businesses and trading businesses. So it's a sole trader, no partnership at all, no companies at all. We do not do payroll at all. So you will see that our structure here is pretty simple. It's just preparing the students to get to let's say a bookkeeping level of education there. And then if they want to pursue on a degree, they get the extra part from the university that they would go to. So that's basically what the similarities and differences are. Also on our VCE exam, our VCE exam is about 40% theoretical and 60% practical. So a lot of practical part will be done for you and you will analyze and evaluate. So higher order thinking is sort of tested in that particular manner. If someone ever wants to, is sort of coming to Melbourne, always you can contact me and I can assist you in the resources this side. I'll go to my second part, which was how do we teach accounting and economics here? Now, the way I teach here is a lot of student involvement because our students get bored very quickly. So, and the structure here is that you can't shout at them. So we have to be very, very calm and very, very sort of do things that interest them. So we do a lot of student-oriented teaching here. And whatever I'm going to say I use is often related to any other subject. You can do this in any other subject. Does not have to be just accounting and economics. So I use a lot of flashcards, and if I'll show you, flashcards are about the size of a business card, and the size of a business card, as you can see on the screen. So what I do is when the students enter my class, and all these resources are made by them. I don't make them, they make it themselves. So when the students enter the classroom, I just give them, I'd have the answers in one card and all the questions in one card. So as they enter the classroom, I'll give a person a question and the next person gets the answer. They're not the same answer and questions. So when they get in the classroom, they will go and they will look for their partner. They will look at what their concept is and they'll try to go around and see what someone else has got, and they will try and find their pair. Now what I do is, so when they have found their pair, they will stand together and then we'll go around the classroom and they have to explain what their concept is and what is the definition. So this is a good recollection of the previous day's work. And you might think, oh, who's going to sit and make all these resources? I don't make any resources. So what I do is when we finish a topic, I get the kids those cards, so they can get those small cards that we have here, and they will, then I divide the number of pages that they're going to cover. So if in the chapter is about 20 pages and there's about 4 groups, I give each group about 5 pages. They will go over the pages and they'll find what they think is important for them to revise. So they'll put those concepts on the cards and then they'll give it back to me. They write in pencil so that I can go and check that whatever they put in the card is actually correct. So once I correct it, then I will laminate it all and then that's my resources. So the second year I don't have to make any and the students don't have to make any because I collect them and keep them topic by topic. So that's one of the first things that I do here, and the kids love doing it because they participate in the learning themselves. The second thing that I do is a lot of group work as well. So in the group work, the key part is that the groups are not one-sided. So not all the smart kids go in one group and all the kids that are not so good in another group. So what I do is, and also I don't want friends in the group because then there's more talking. So what we often do is, as the students enter the classroom, I'll pick about 3 or 4 kids by random, And then I have a box with all the names in them. And they go and pick the names of, if it's about group of 4, then the person picks 3 extra names. So sometimes by coincidence, they may end up with smart groups, but often they will rotate and different members come in the group. So this also teaches them how to do teamwork, because as our students, when they leave school, they go and work somewhere, they can't pick and choose who they're working with, so they have to get along with everybody. So besides the content they get, they also learn these other things as well, how to work with people, how to understand others' opinions. So these are some other skills that I want our students to learn, apart from just the content. So then they will get in their groups. I will give them a question. They solve it, that question within their group. And I also have a running list. So if someone has presented within a group the previous day or the previous week, I would have picked their name. So when their group is presenting, I will tell them that these 3 people cannot present because they've already done it. So whoever hasn't done in a group, they get to present it. So in that way, the leaders of the group, or the people who are intelligent or more smarter, do not dictate the group. And because the person who is, everyone gets a chance to present, they all have to learn at least some portion of it. Now, sometimes some students will not be very comfortable doing it. So when they're presenting, I'll often ask them, they can bring an assistant up. So the assistant is there to support them. And if they falter somewhere, then the assistant can sort of assist them and guide them through, so they don't get embarrassed in the classroom. We often may think that of all the problems that may arise, but kids do develop a adaptation to all these things. And after a while, they're very comfortable. Even the person who is not sort of very smart in the class, they know that there's someone there in the group to help. And this also makes them sort of more friends in the classroom. So the second thing I do, when I was in Fiji, we often didn't do this for accounting. We thought it was too practical, but I found here, especially in online teaching, debates work very well as well. In our curriculum for VCE, what we do is there's something that I learned we did in Fiji sometime back, was called values education, where we learned a few other things like honesty and integrity and all these things in accountants. Now, after the global financial crisis, the VCE has adapted from advice from CPA and other associations here to include what we call qualitative characteristics and accounting assumptions as part of it, so that people, the financial people, people with financial background were blamed a lot for the collapse during the financial crisis. So these things come here, and we have ethics in every topic. So all the topics we do, we need to teach the kids what is the ethical values in it. So what I usually do is this topic I usually have debates on.
Oh, Ashvin, sorry, are you sharing your screen?
Not at this point.
No, sorry, that's okay.
Yeah, all the things that I'm saying, I've given it to Navneet, and he will upload it. So you do not need to write anything. It's recorded anyway, but there's a whole script that I've given to Navneet. He'll load it up there, and you can use it if you choose to. I will show a few things a little bit later. Yeah, okay. So one of the topics that I gave my students to use the other day was, is it okay for a small school to claim government assistance offered during the pandemic? In Victoria, the governments are offering a lot of assistance to businesses and schools that are on shutdown or that not working, so that they can have a income to survive later on. So their students were to discuss the financial, the ethical, and the legal implications. So they get into the groups, and we are using Teams here, which is similar to Zoom. So I put them into breakout rooms, and they go there with the topic and they discuss. So I pop in once in a while in each group and see what their discussions are. So they get about 30 minutes to do that, and then I get them back together in the open forum, and then they debate and we score points. So that's something that we've done for accounting. They've just done one last week, which was on balance the adjustments. I put down the balance adjustments are not important. Apply them if they can present less profits for tax purposes. Discuss the application of qualitative characteristics and accounting assumptions in context of ethical, legal, and financial implications. So debates are good for economics. Economics is very good, but for accounting, you can also use them. I'll share my screen now. There's another thing that I often use in my class is, just give me a second, I'll share my screen. Okay, everybody can see my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try and put these up here. do a second. So I've made a couple of Microsoft.
We see the Zoom. We see the Zoom.
Yep, I'm just getting to the website.
Okay.
Our internet is also sometimes suffering here, just like you guys have a problem. So this is a form that I made for my business class. So just like the forms that Navneet was showing the other day, we use Microsoft 365. So this is a form that I developed there, and the students can do this. The points are allocated there. And so this is something that we often do in class. And sometimes I give them at the beginning of the lesson. So as soon as they enter, they can do this. It's self-marking as well. So there are lots of questions there. We can, and topic by topic, we can keep on adding them. Also, I play games with them, and this is something that you guys can do. It's called Kahoot. I'm sure everyone knows about it by now. So if you do not know, you can set up your account. So if you go to this website, which is in the notes that I've given to Navneet, and when it loads it up, you can all the links and everything is there. So you can actually go there, and there's a sign up button there, so you can sign it up. There are lots of questions here for every subject out there. For accounting, there's heaps of work there. For some of them, you have to modify probably because they are not relevant to your curriculum, but most of the things are. I'll show you one of the Kahoots that I did for my students recently. And so sometimes we think that accounting or maths cannot happen in this particular way, but as you can see, it takes a bit of time to make those, but you can do those things. So this is my Kahoot. This is for accounting. As you can see, this is for general entries, and I've prepared it there. These are all the questions, and the kids play with that. They've got choices there. They're all calculation based, but they've got multiple choice as their answers. You see, they're all like what we would give them is to do it in a paper. You can still give it here, and then they'll just calculate. It'll take them a longer time, so you can give a 30 seconds to a minute for them to do. And in that particular way, you can still do accounting, and this can be done online. So this is what I use online. It takes a while to make, but it's a good resource that you can use later. Okay, Navneet, that's all for me at this point.
Can I just ask people if you know what Kahoot is? In the chat, just put a yes or a no if you know what Kahoot is. Because as Ashvin was presenting, I just something occurred in my mind that maybe that's something that we can present. We're getting lots of no's.
Do you want me to show it again, Navneet?
I was just thinking maybe Ashvin, one of this webinar sessions, we can just play Kahoot.
Yeah.
And that can be a webinar session of its own.
Probably I think 57s, people will be very happy then.
I was just thinking maybe we'll actually do Kahoot as a session of its own. It's actually one of the most fun things to do. I teach physics and chemistry, and it's the kids love it, especially the lower kids. They just love it. All I'm seeing is just lots of no's in there. So all right, that gives us an idea that we could have a session of Kahoot. Now, just to recap what Ashvin has said, thanks Ashvin. That was beautifully done. You've covered the curriculum. Now, Ashvin mentioned VCE. Let me just tell you what VCE. VCE is an exam that we have here in Victoria. Just to give you a very crash course in how the Australian curriculum works in 30 seconds. Unlike Fiji, where everyone sits I'm not sure what the exam is called, Fiji's secondary school, sixth form certificate or seventh form, whatever that was, where every kid sits there, the same exam. In Australia has got lots of states, and each state has its own exam. So VC stands for the Victorian Certificate of Education that students sit in year 12 before they go to university. Ashvin uses lots of flashcards. I think that's an interesting one. Ashvin, I think I've actually learned something from you myself. I don't use flashcard, but that's actually a good idea. I'm going to use that one in my class, in my physics and physics class that I've got. You use a lot of debates. You mentioned ethics. You mentioned use of Google Forms. Now, Ashvin showed Microsoft Forms, which is very similar to the Google Forms that I showed you. I didn't want to talk about Microsoft Forms because there's actually a paid version that our school subscribes to, which is part of Office 365. But Google Forms does exactly the same thing as we talked about the last 2 lessons. With something that Geeta mentioned, how easy it is to use Google Forms. You know, when we were studying about education at university, we were given the theory about doing pre-test and post-test. Now, that's all well and good in theory when we were studying education at university. When we come to school, in the classroom, the reality hits us. And quite often, the reality is we don't have time to do pre-test and post-test. But here's an opportunity to actually put that theory in practice. What Geeta mentioned before, how quickly and easily she sets up a Google form, gets a pre-test done. You can do a pre-test there. And then at the end of your class, do a quick post test. Really quick, fast, easy, collect rich amount of data. Now, I'm gonna ask Geeta, if you are there, please, if you could maybe just put your camera back on so people can see you now as well. I was gonna ask Geeta, after listening to what Ashvin had said about how he teaches accounting and economics. Of course, he reckons that in Fiji, you guys are doing much more advanced level of accounting and economics, what is happening here. And in fact, can I vouch that also same thing I can say for my physics and chemistry as well. In Fiji, we do far more than what we do here. But going back to what Ashvin had presented, Geeta, did you have any reflection of what he presented? Was anything useful? Did you think you could pick something from there and that you found useful?
Yes, firstly, he mentioned something about shouting, shouting at the students in Fiji. For his information, now we have a lot of policies. We can't do this. And if we do, then we go through a lot of processes. I think one of our counselors is, ex-counselor is there, Rohin. She will vouch for it. Nowadays, we have to, again, be like Australia and New Zealand schools, 21st century students. So we can't actually shout. If we have any cases like that, we refer to the counselor or the AP or the principal. Secondly, the group work he mentioned, we do carry out group work, just like flashcards we can do. But the problem is our classrooms are just next to each other. So the noise will become a problem. But we do try doing these things during family life education classes. We take them to the auditorium and do that. And content, yes, of course, our content is pretty lot. Our main focus is exam oriented generally. We generally look at evaluation at the end of the year. So whatever we teach, we are actually focusing on the exams. And we do debate in economics. In the past, when we didn't have COVID, etc., we had Commerce Week. So during that week, we had exciting activities like quiz. We even had enterprising, where people brought things and sold. And ethics, as you said, it is taught in all levels, actually. We also have those topics, ethics topics, in all levels up till year 13. And you should know in Fiji, the schools are, the class sizes are pretty big. So it's pretty difficult to control at times. So that's why group work has to be done at minimized level, or you can say just to control the noise, etc. And thanks for sharing the Kahoot one. Now I'll try to use that. That's a pretty good, interesting way of making questions. Thank you.
Nah, that's good. Thank you. As I said, we'll try to actually have a session, Ashvin, at some point to, about Kahoot. I think that's, again, everything that we show you, everything we present to you is free. They are available online and easily used. Ashvin, did you want to make any other observations?
Yeah,
before
I
we?
do recall when Geeta said about the class sizes, I do recall I was teaching in the DAV Girls and we used to have 45, 50 in a classroom. Here you can make two classes of that. I think most I have in a class is about 24. And so yeah, that's a challenge there in Fiji. And also just to say that, yeah, teaching in Fiji, the content is very heavy. Here the content for accounting is quite shallow, which is good in the sense that the students get more time to practice and learn sort of the practical part more thoroughly in a more practical manner. They do prepare for the exams, but we have a coursework system here as well. Whereas in Fiji, I don't know if there is a coursework system. When I was there,
100%.
it's 100. Yeah, that's
accounting economics is 100% exams.
Yeah, we have 50% as coursework. So they do SAC tests continuously, which contributes to 50% of their coursework. So, and in that particular way, they sort of get up more time to practice rather than a 3-hour exam a day. And even the exam here is just 2 hours. So that's the bit of difference, big difference.
Geeta, was there a time that you did have internal assessment as well?
Long time back when I was a student, I think then we
Right.
had 10% projects. But after that, when I started teaching, we never had any internal assessment. It's always, but for year 9 and 10, we had for a few years, but again, it stopped.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now, just very quickly, just a question just caught my eye there. Sashi Lata, she's asked, what is the class size in Australia? And I think Ashvin's answered that question to some extent. Depends, class sizes are no more than 25 at most. You'll get up to 27 or 28, no more than that. But having said that, sometimes it is easier to teach a class of 45 Fijian students than 25 students here in Australia. Although we are a bit lucky, we are both teaching in a private school, so we don't have a lot of student issues there as much. Okay, I shall now ask if I'll open this now to the audience, to the general audience. If anyone would like to have a little reflection, if anyone wants to make some comments, please, you could unmute your mic and have a go. You've all now heard how the curriculum and teaching from Geeta and also from Ashvin. Was there something, would anyone would like brave enough to unmute their mic and say something? Make any observation? No.
Mr. Navneet, I would like to say something.
Yes.
For me, I have been teaching for 27 years. So next 5 years, I'll retire. But I'm still learning. So I want to encourage the young people. Like I have had people, I wanted people to join this forum. And I have invited Anushka. She's a young teacher. So like that today, I invited another teacher, Anjani, to be part of it. So like that, I think we as teachers who are about to retire, we should encourage young people to come in and learn and be part of this online teaching, because the future is theirs. When we can learn, then they can learn also. So all the young teachers, I'm encouraging you to be part of this, because the future is all about online teaching and online learning. You can see it at university levels, Moodle and other things are being in use. So please encourage all your teachers in your schools to
I think, Geeta, that's an excellent point that you have made. Learning doesn't stop. As we all know, the notion of lifelong learning, and I just can't vouch enough of what you've just said. All three of us who are presenting here tonight, we all have more than 20 years of teaching experience, but there's never been a time when we have said that's enough, I don't need to learn anymore. So, you know, there's always is something to learn. It's not okay anymore to say, yep, I've been teaching for 20, 30 years and I've been to all PDs, I don't need to go to any more PDs. Unfortunately, life around us, technology around us, the content around us, the world around us is continuously changing, and therefore it's never a point in time when we can say there's no more learning to be had. So I'm really grateful and thankful for people who are continuously coming. I think I can see people who are now with us for this forum fourth time in a row. So good on you guys, and please do encourage your other colleagues to come and join this. It's free, we don't charge anything. It's just there purely for your development. We're just trying to, you know, provide a platform for your development, for your professional development, and for you to learn and change, exchange ideas. Were you going to say something, Geeta?
Yeah, like you said, it's all about collaboration for young and old. And you should know that 21st century kids know better than you. So if you go wrong in your technology, they'll laugh at you. So don't let that be the case. For us, we always tell them we'll have teething problems and all these kind of things because we are also learning.
Absolutely. I think, as I said, last two lessons we've been mainly, our webinars were mainly based on technology. You know, I think there's no shame to admit that there's some things that our students do better. In fact, when it comes to technology, if they are able to, you know, do things, I in fact am pretty open about it. You know, I just tell my students, you guys know this. Can you help me out? And I think your students will respect you more if you are open and honest with them. Just say, hey guys, I don't get this. Who knows how to do this? I do that all the time. You know, I respect you for it. It's not a shameful thing that your students know. In fact, we shouldn't be knowing everything more and better than our students. Last week, I introduced the concept, the Padlet. For those of you who were not here, and if this is your first time, if you've never heard of Padlet, Padlet was one of those platforms that I'd introduced, you know, a quick and fun way of collecting data. I thought for the benefit of those people who are joining us for the first time or were not part of that Padlet, let me quickly do it again. And I'm not going to go through the theory. I'll just show you this very quickly. In your chat, I'm actually putting a link. There you go. There's a link. If you click on this link, there are two questions I've put on Padlet. The first one is, if you are an accounting or an economics teacher, if you teach accounting or economics, what did you find useful from today's presentation that you could implement in your class? Now, you may not, and a lot of you here are not accounting and economics teacher, but I'm sure you would have found something useful from this. If you're not an accounting or an economics teacher, was there any lesson for you? So if you click on Padlet, that link that I've put up there in your chat, Prashika, did you have a question?
Navneet, I think Bhavna has a question. She's got a hand up.
Yes, Mr. Sharma. Actually, I did
Bhavna?
raise my hand.
Sorry about that. Yep.
Yeah, I was actually in the beginning when you asked for us if we could give a bit of input. First of all, of course, thanks for this particular sessions that we are having. And I would actually say that it is quite addictive. This learning currently has become quite addictive, and most of us are, I believe, always returning to this particular webinars that you're having. So a lot of thanks from, I think, most of us. And the other thing we mentioned about, like, for us to learn, I believe as teachers, we should be the ones who should be promoting learning. And it starts from us. When in the classroom, sometimes we ask our students, if you are a bit hesitant to ask us, maybe you can talk with your peers, you learn from your peers. So in the same way, our peers, for us teachers, it's us who are learning from each other. So maybe I have something to teach, maybe someone else might have something to teach. So we share the knowledge, and in that way we are all learning. Like learning, for example, we can always say it's like a lifelong thing. It doesn't stop anywhere. So, and with this new normal of, like, for example, in Fiji currently that we're having, where many of us who might not have been, for instance, very much aware of this digital way of teaching, like now we are more of now venturing into this uncharted waters. So I believe it's a very good time for us to have these type of sessions where we can learn from each other. So a lot of thank you to this particular team for helping everyone out. Thank you.
Most appreciated. Thank you for that wonderful feedback. Can I actually encourage you all to pass this information to your colleagues? Encourage your colleagues, your friends to register on the website, and you know, encourage them to come along to these webinars. It doesn't cost you anything, and you just have your own self to develop professionally. So thank you for that. That was a good feedback from you, Bhavani. Sangeeta Chatan.
Yeah. Thank you, Navneet. I feel that this webinar is very useful for us because by looking at Geeta and Ashvin, yeah, it is seen that there is a great difference in the curriculum that you people use there and the curriculum content that we have in Fiji. So by having such webinars, we will be very instrumental in the review of the content that we have. Like if there is a review for this content, accounting and economics, then might be the teachers who are present on this platform, there will be a lot of things that you could contribute to make our curriculum also very suitable for the students that we have in Fiji. And another thing I have noticed, the contextualization that Ashwin was talking about, like putting the content in the context where the students are. Might be that is something that we have to look for the curriculum that we have in Fiji to contextualize what children know and make that an opportunity to use those things to teach the students, because they will love to learn through the ways that they enjoy and the things that they know about. And of course, I totally agree that currently it's a big challenge for us here in Fiji to do online teaching. Not the schools, also the universities. We are facing a lot of challenges to do online teaching because of the network connectivity, because of the geographical location that we have, and because of the situation we are in. So this kind of platform is, I want to thank the organizers of this platform. It's really a great help to all of us who have participated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for your feedback as well. And can I just say, Sangeeta is going to be one of our presenters in a few weeks' time on early childhood. So thank you, Sangeeta. That was really, really good, and really appreciate your feedback.
Navneet, Bhavni Narayan has a hand up.
Yes, hi, if you can hear me.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear
yes,
you.
go. Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah, this is Bhavini here. I would like to congratulate all the presenters tonight, including you and Geeta. Really applaud her. We teach together at the same school. And I'd like to just add on that we are living in the 21st century, and definitely, like you also said, and Geeta said, that our children are much more advanced in technology compared to us. So it is very important for us to learn. And I am really happy to be part of this webinar tonight. Having a lot of fluctuations with the internet, however, I'm still able to cope. And yes, so I'm really happy to be part of this, and really proud of Geeta for the presentation. And definitely, yes, if we learn, then we will be able to present better to our students. And like you mentioned, that it does not harm us in asking our students; they feel part of the group. And that's one of the things that I have always done with my students. Even if I know what I have to do, I will still ask my students, okay, is this right or not? So in that way, I know that my students are in touch with me, and that that connection, we need to build that. And during this time here in PG, where we are having internet issues, and then there are some students who really do not have access to devices and all that, we need to find ways in which we can improve our online teaching, because that is the way to go at this moment. And especially with our year 12 and 13 students, they need the practice to be able to enter tertiary education. So I'm really looking forward to your next session on biology, chemistry, and physics, because I teach biology as well. So yes, I'm really happy to be part of this group. And yes, congratulations for forming this group and letting us all in to be part of this collaboration thing. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Thanks.
Look, actually, congratulations on your guys' part to actually taking your time out at this time to actually be part of the webinar. I think it's a full credit to all the teachers that actually are really genuinely wanting to develop themselves and taking part in this webinar. But thank you, appreciate your feedback. And as I said, this is your forum, this is your platform. And the more we are involved in this, it's only going to be useful and beneficial for us as teachers. And remember, ultimately, our development will flow on as benefits to our students. And that is
Yes, definitely.
our ultimate goal.
Yeah, and what I see is, like, getting connected internationally, because we are doing online teaching. It is really exciting to know how things are done on the other side compared to what we do here. So yes, this collaboration is important, and I would like to say, those teachers who are already in the forum, please ask your other teachers to join in, so that we can learn more, and then interact with each other. Because if we do not interact, we do not learn. So that is important, and I am really learning a lot. So yes, thanks for this.
Bhavani,
Yeah.
Bhavani, here's a homework for you.
Yeah. Okay.
You have a 10-minute presentation to tell us how you teach biology, and I'm going to come tapping on your shoulder soon.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'll do that.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
This is what sharing is all about. This is exactly
Yes,
what
definitely.
we
Yeah.
intend to be doing on this platform.
Yeah, I would also be grateful if other teachers who are already in this forum, if they can, like, give in some more ideas. I am doing my part. Yes, I liaise with Geeta all the time. We are working together. So we have a lot to learn. We learn every day. We continuously liaise with each other. I liaise with the teachers in the department. Liaise with the teachers in the school, the heads of departments, and everyone. So we are all working together, and every day I see that we are learning something new and something different and something exciting as well.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah,
thank you, Bhavani.
yeah,
As I said, I will come asking you for that as well. One of the points you make about, and I said earlier on about, our students knowing more about technology,
yeah,
and my point to that was there is absolutely no shame in admitting to your students that I don't
yeah,
know
you
this,
are right.
who knows
Yeah,
better. That actually helps to build relationship with your students. Your students
yes,
are going to
you
respect
are
you
right
more
there.
because
Yeah,
you're being honest with them.
yes,
As I said, I
definitely.
have no shame. I always tell my students, oh, I don't know how to do this. Does anyone know? And the students actually just do it. They don't look down at you. And I think you're just being honest with them. And that's actually a good way to build rapport with your students.
Yes. Definitely. And it goes the same with the teachers as well. Like, even if you know something, if you ask, then definitely you get to know something extra. And
Yep.
that's, something, yeah. And, that's all teamwork. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for this
Absolutely.
session. Yeah.
No, all good. It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm glad that you guys are taking part in this. Just one. Okay. So we've had a look at, just give me a second. All right. We've had a look at a curriculum from a Melbourne perspective and a curriculum taught in Fiji. We've had quite a large number of turnout. I think we were, getting close to 70, 80 people who turned up tonight. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming along. And this is, in the audience, we've had such a diverse group of people. Now, by that I mean, we have had people from teaching all different subjects. We obviously we use accounting and economics as a context, but I'm sure you will agree with me that the lessons we take away has much wider implications than just accounting and economics. We've had people tonight who have been teachers from all different year levels. We've got teachers from secondary school, we've got teachers from primary school tonight with us. We have got teachers from early childhood as well. We've got a few principals with us tonight, so welcome, guys. We have principals, we have vice principals. We just have a quick look through the notes. We have quite a few heads of departments in here. Look, we are very excited that for the first time, we are able to bring teachers from all this diverse background together into this one forum. I don't think this has ever happened before, where we have teachers from early childhood all the way to year 13 from all different subject levels, principals, vice principals, teachers, all coming together in one forum. Thank you for your feedback. You have, given some good insight into some of the things that you have learned, and quite some valuable observations as well. Now, before we finish, I would like to ask you, as I always do, is if you could please just give me a second. If you could please fill the attendance for tonight. This is very, very useful for us because it helps us to as you know, we send out certificates. It helps us to write down certificates, plus also get to know who you are and people who actually attend our sessions. So if you look in the chat again, if you look in the chat, I have pasted a link. Can anyone just tell me if the link is okay, working fine? Okay.
Yes, it's working.
Okay, thanks. All right. Now, is there any other final comments before we close our webinar? A very, very big thank you to Geeta and Ashvin. You guys have obviously put in a lot of effort to prepare for this presentation. I'm sure, as I said earlier, that you have all found this useful. Whether you teach accounting or economics or not, I'm sure if you teach accounting economics, you would have gained some useful tips from the presentations tonight. Even if you do not teach accounting and economics, you would have picked some other things like Kahoot that you mentioned. So thank you very much. I think, thanks, Mr. Navneet. We and him, back in the days, we shared the same name in the school. We were the only two Navneets in there. Thanks, mate. Ashvin, I'm about to finish here now, but Ashvin just asked me if you wanted to show me some apps. Ashvin, do you want to show some apps? Which app were you thinking of?
The apps that you can have on your mobile phone for revision. If you want, I can just show them some.
Yeah, go for it. No, go for it.
Okay, it shouldn't take long. It's just for people who would like to use the phone. So these are the kids can use your phone as well. I'll just put it up here. These are some of the apps that I use for accounting, and I've seen there that there's chemistry as well. If you go on your phones and you search, these are all free apps. So on the stuff that I sent to Navni, when he puts it up, it's all there as well. These are all for accounting. So if you just punch in the accounting apps, some of these names, it's in color form as well. So when Navni puts it up there, you can go on those pages and check. I think it's on page 4 and 5. And for economics, you can also find some of those ones. Navni, did you want me to show the stock exchange now, or can they do it later?
We're getting close to 9:30. Look, another 2-3 minutes, mate. Go for it.
There's a link here. So again, if you go to the sheet, you need to do this tonight though. The Australian Stock Exchange runs a share market game. So if you wanted to play with your economic students, or if you wanted to learn stock exchange yourself, I put down the link there. So if you press on that link, it'll take you to the website. It works in Fiji. The school one might not work, but that one works in Fiji. So you can go there and you can log in and you can learn about stock market. The game starts from tomorrow. So you need to log in today and join in. It's free of charge. You get $50,000 to play there. And there's another link that I put there, which is for Microsoft MYOB. That's a free link. So you can, if you're teaching in classroom or online, you can teach kids how to set up their accounting system, and it's all free again for a month or so. So you can use those links to learn as well online. So they should be on that sheet of paper that Navneet will load up later. Thanks, Navneet.
Thanks, Ashvin. We're just about to close. Was there anyone who wanted to make any final observation? No? So, Anushka, you've got a hand up.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank Mrs. Geeta Krishna for introducing this platform to me. Actually, through her, I have been able to learn a lot from this platform, and I have been able to send the link of this forum to my colleagues who have also joined the forum. So I'm really grateful to Mrs. Geeta. I'd like to just say and share one share an experience that I have come across with Mrs. Geeta Krishna. She is one of the teachers or one of the school heads who is very inspiring. Through her, we have been able to learn a lot. Therefore, I would like to request the other school heads or teachers who have joined this platform to please share their experience and their way or mode of teaching as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. It is you are very lucky. You're very fortunate to have an inspiring teacher like Geeta, And as I said, we have quite a few principals and vice principals on our forum tonight. I would encourage you to pass on this information to your staff, to your teachers, to join in. It's the free webinar, and you know, it's for your professional development. Can I also ask that if, and one of the things I said earlier on is if you know of someone who can present, if you know of someone whom we can approach, if you would like to do a presentation, we would like to hear from you. If you're, as I said, if you're a principal or vice principal, you could urge your staff to come and take part in this forum, in this international forum. Really, it's we actually are looking at people from New Zealand joining us as well and doing some presentations later on. So it's you know, it's a worthwhile thing. If you could, you know, request, urge, push some of your staff to come and join and present. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to, you know, share ideas. And look, there is no right, no wrong. And I've said this many times before. We are not experts. We are not supposed to be experts in everything. We are just here to learn from each other as a collective group. There's about 70 people, 80 people, I think, the last I saw, that were joined in tonight. As a collective group, we have a wealth of information, wealth of knowledge and skills, which we can share amongst us. So with that, I think it's 7:30 here, 9:30 your time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashvin, again. Thank you, Geeta, for your presentations tonight. And thank you, everyone. I hope you have all filled in the attendance form that I had put up there before. That helps us to send out certificates. I look forward to presenting next week. As I said, next week, we'll put more information out next week. It's probably something that I'll target more for the science teachers. I'll just go over how we do online experiments and online practicals and that sort of thing. So keep you posted. There's a science one coming next week, and after that, there's one that's for the early childhood. And as I said, I'd love to hear more from you guys. Until then, keep well, keep safe, go well, and I'll see you guys soon and pass the word around. Thank you very much. Mode.